Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with more Warhammer lore! Oh god, out of billions of fan-requested lore dives, because apparently there's still 400 novels of the Warhammer series that I actually have to go through. Here is the unique horror of every greater demon in Warhammer lore. So, in every Chaos faction, there are these Chaos demons as well, and that's pretty fucking scary and shit. So, we've done, recently, the lore of every Space Marine Legion, and I feel like this is a good way to counterbalance that. As a personal stan of Chaos, just as much as a stan of the Imperium, forgive the heresy, we're diving into this by Westhammer. Apparently, what people want me to keep doing is different battles and different fucking crazy shit and Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer the Old World and alternate Warhammer universes and every Primarch's life story and there's so much content! So much content! All right, let's see what we got. All right, let's do it.
By now, it should be seen as no secret that space is actually chock full of demons. I
thought he was gonna say aliens, but okay.
Well, at least that's how it is in Warhammer 40k.
Ha! You fool! You think our space is not chock full of demons too? Aw.
The verdict is still out there on whether or not that's true in real life. And out of all
oh god, he literally got me on that one.
of the terrifying demonic entities that prowl the realm of chaos and frequently blight our universe with the sin of their existence, 4 stand apart from the rest as beings of apocalyptic might.
Wait, there are... Okay, so I knew that there were demons in different factions of all this shit. So are these demons basically Primarch equivalent of the forces of chaos? Like, you know how the Emperor has 20 Primarchs and then 10 of them fucking, went to the dark side of the Force? 2 of them are erased from history, I guess. So these Primarchs are just like the pinnacle of humanity and the pinnacle of the Imperium. Are these 4 greater demons the pinnacle of demonic Primarchs? Aside from the Primarchs that actually became demons. Yeah, this is a complicated ass lore.
Malevolent entities that are so dangerous, their existence has to be kept a closely guarded secret by the holy ordos of the Inquisition.
Wait, they're not even... People don't know that these demon Primarchs are around because the Inquisition feels like it's better to just censor this shit? Oh my god, the Inquisition is literally just freaking CNN.
I speak, of course, of greater demons, like the Bloodthirsters of Khorne, who are the avatars of hatred, existing only to spill blood and take skulls. Ew. The Keepers of Secrets, the embodiment of...
Bro, you really had to censor her 3 uncensored nipples? Bro, dude. YouTube will be fine with fucking Slonussy because it's purple, and purple is stealthy.
Seductive excess.
That's my theory.
Repugnant creatures that delight in inflicting untold agony on mortals. There's the great unclean ones.
Based! Relatable based!
The avatars of rot and entropy. Massive, bloated monstrosities teeming with every disease, virus, and parasite known to man.
Love that. Dude, love that. I'm just saying, though, to everyone in chat, this is just for the sake of YouTube. We're talking about rot, entropy, and 3 nipples, okay? So I'm just going to have to say this for educational purposes so YouTube doesn't demonetize me. You can't get sexually transmitted diseases if you just don't have sex. I know, it's crazy, but you guys are safe.
And finally, there's the Lords of Change, masters of sorcery in all its forms, and duplicitous agents of change whose mere presence can fracture minds and send mortals reeling...
What the fuck? The art is so good.
...into the oblivion of insanity. But what are the greater demons all about? What is their purpose, and what role do they fill within the hierarchy of chaos?
All right.
Potentially, most importantly, which one of these dudes is the strongest?
Man is so based. He literally knows. He's so based.
Well, today we're going to be getting into that and a whole lot more. But first, a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, and then we're going to dive headfirst into the Grimdark.
I love the Grimdark. The grim darkness of space where there is only war. Yeah, well, anyway, so let's jump right into it, baby. Let's see what we got.
Entities that prowl the realm of chaos. None are as feared as those the faithful refer to as greater demons.
This is exciting, man. Oh, man! This is the Primarch equivalent of demonhood. Holy crap, baby! We dive in so deep right now.
These are demonic entities of supreme...
I wonder, do they have personalities and shit, or are they just, avatars of different chaos guys?
...ability. each a reflection of their patron god and an unholy master of corruption. They are the generals and lieutenants of
Oh god, dude, that up close of Asmongold is literally sending me right now.
chaos, the supreme commanders
Oh god, oh that is gross!
of its demonic legions, and the will of the chaos gods given form. Although their manifestations are thankfully
Dude, why the fuck is this so awesome?
rare, when they do deign to blight the physical universe with their presence, rampant destruction and untold
It's not a Nux stream if there's no Vor.
levels of corruption are always left in their blazing wakes. They are some of the most powerful combatants ever documented, and come in 4 distinct forms: the endless rage of the Bloodthirsters, who can cleave tanks in twain and rip
Damn, that's hard. Wait, so the Chaos gods themselves, obviously overpowered, blowing up millions of people and shit like that. All right, sure. But the Chaos gods don't actually walk around in our normal, realm, right? They don't walk around in our personal realm of existence. These greater demons do actually show up in normal physical space outside of the warp. So wait, so do you actually have battles documented between Primarchs and demons? Because that is crazy!
fortresses open
Oh,
with a single
God.
swing of their massive axes. The towering great unclean ones, avatars of filth and disease,
Oh yeah. Asmongold viewers punching the air right now.
that act as a vector for every known pathogen in the universe. The beguiling and seductive keepers of secrets
Oh god.
that are faster than the human eye can track and delight in the suffering and anguish they inflict upon mortals.
Yeah. Sanguinius fought 2 greater demons and actually killed one. Woo! That's crazy. Oh my god, Sanguinius, my goat. I can't believe he's dead. I literally can't believe he's dead.
Or
I have to do a lore dive into each individual Primarch and all the major characters in the Imperium. I have to definitely do that.
the limitless destructive sorceries of the impossibly intelligent Lords of Change. These are entities that the mortal mind was not designed to comprehend.
Boom.
Their existence is
Common mortal mind L, embrace chaos, yes.
something that we're not truly capable of processing. In fact, when we witness them in the artwork of Warhammer 40k, the form we see is our mind trying to make sense of the unexplainable.
I love when there's like a canon reason. It's like, why does he look like a peacock with multiple eyes? Oh, that's just how your mind explains the unexplainable. It's really just a mass of unknowability. Oh, okay, cool, love that.
To give shape to something that is inherently shapeless. The simple act of seeing them with our mortal eyes is a subconscious defense mechanism of the human psyche. It
Right,
is
we have to picture them as incredibly horrifying creatures because if we actually witness what they really were, it would literally break our brains. We are just simple Freudian construct before their gelatinous majesty.
to generate in our mind an image that, although admittedly horrifying, is grounded within the laws of our universe, and thus our mind is allowed to accept its existence without fracturing under the sheer impossibility of the greater demon's truth. Like all demons, they are creatures of the warp, entities made not of flesh and bone and tangible substance, but energy and emotion.
Yeah, but it's so wild. Then how do they show up, man? And they create them in the warp. So, dude. So then why could the demons leave the warp then? But the chaos gods cannot. Are they too powerful to leave the actual warp? The greater demon that Sanguinius didn't kill became obsessed with his legion to the point that he came to the Blood Angels' aid against Tyranids. Because only he could kill them? That is the most fucking metal shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god.
Or as much as our mind wants to interpret something like a Bloodthirster as a towering humanoid combatant that rampages across the battlefield, it's more accurate to think of them as literally the emotion of rage given sentience.
That is fucking scary as shit. All right. Now I get why there aren't that many stories about the greater demons and why we're, focused on the Imperium so much more.
Greater demons themselves are granted a much greater amount of freedom than the lesser demons beneath them. It's true that they are each a manifestation of the god that created them, but they all possess a will that is uniquely their own.
That's crazy. So they actually do have sentience. They are characters, right? They are actual characters, as opposed to, like minions that are just created as soldiers made of clay and mud. Like, they do have sentience to some degree. They obviously follow that distinct order, and that, in this case, that order is chaos. But they all follow that distinct branch of chaos, but they are characters. They are people. It's not a hive mind. They're not Tyranids.
They each have their own quirks, nuances, aspirations, and oftentimes their ambition can give way to desires that directly contradict the plans of their patron deity. Many more have even demonstrated
Dude, it's the Lich. It's just the Lich if he put on a little weight. This is the Lich if he made mukbang content.
particularly remarkable skills and abilities that their god in question may not even be capable of.
That's insanely cool. So they really are kind of like the Primarchs, the Greater Daemons. They're the reverse Primarchs, born from these Chaos factions, except they do get their own hopes and dreams or whatever. Would it be possible for a Greater Demon to actually rebel against Chaos, just like how there are Primarchs that rebelled against Order? Would it be possible to befriend these guys? Obviously, they'll have completely different value systems than you. Yes? Oh my god, that is insane. Dude, this lore is literally so good. I love how Chaos is like a literal mirror image of Order. So the Chaos is the mirror image of the Imperium in this way. So you do kind of have them.
But examples of this come in the form of two different Lords of Change, as in Kairos Fateweaver, traditionally seen as the most exalted of Lords of Change, has the ability to see into the future.
Oh god, that's broken, come on!
Is something that Tzeentch himself has struggled with.
Is it? I thought Tzeentch knew everything. He knew all the past and all the future. I know every action that he takes is definitely part of some master plan to bring him towards a future that he wants. This demon has powers that even Tzeentch doesn't have. Cognitive powers.
Although I will admit that Kairos doesn't see only one definitive future, but the infinite possible futures as well.
Bro out there thinks he's Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange thinks he's Karos, the twin-headed chicken. SMH.
Something that has...
So, Tzeentch can see a lot, but not as much as Kairos. So Kairos acts as Tzeentch's prophet. That is so cool.
It's caused him to go
one head lies, the other says the truth. No!
insane, even by demonic
Dude, Kairos is a funny boy. I can't believe these are actual characters in Warhammer lore.
standards. Thus, making sense of his ramblings is a full-time job for a whole host of other Lords of Change. There is another Lord of Change known as, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna butcher my way through this.
All right.
Ateos Raukiers.
Oh, that is a name and a half. Dude, any name that has apostrophes is just the author saying shit, okay? Every time I see fucking fantasy novels and they're like, oh shit, I love adding apostrophes to my name. Okay, what long Lord of the Rings name? All right, dude. What do we got? Sergeant of the Guard, Finnsverg Swiritz, Chronicler of Thorn and Company, the Cliff Divers of Middle Earth. That is a very long name. That is a very, very long name. But I'm talking about the ones with like the ones with apostrophes. Fantasy names with apostrophes. There has to be like a compilation of that. Oh my god, there's a fantasy name generator. What the fuck is this? Fantasy name generator. All right, give me an elf. Ah, yes! Fildere! Yes! Oh, Maedros! Love that so much. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My favorite thing is putting A and E's and silent H's in just random words. Oh, hell yeah, dude. All right, generate more names. Ah! Phelan and date. 3 vowels in a row! That's a war crime. An actual war crime. Ah, yes, it is I.
Who is said to be so unbelievably powerful that Tzeentch keeps him chained up at all times.
Tzeentch keeps his own demon chained up because he's so scared. He was driven crazy because Tzeentch threw him through a warp black hole.
Only deploying him when absolutely necessary.
Oh my fucking god. He drops him like a nuke. He drops him in a battlefield and lets him just go crazy.
As the power that he wields is something that even a chaos god is afraid of. Although we refer to them as greater demons, as in they are more exalted than the lesser demons beneath them, this title really doesn't do justice to just how powerful these malignant entities truly are. A greater demon is so much more than simply a more powerful demon. Most of them are worshipped as gods in their own right.
I mean, the Primarchs are also, right? A lot of the Primarchs are worshipped as demigods by their legions. So I guess the parallel still does definitely run true.
By cults and cultures throughout time and space. Bloodthirsters have been depicted as gods of war by warrior cults across time. Some of these cultures may have viewed them as honorable patriarchs of martial prowess, and others may have seen them as insidious entities that led the cult to salvation through bloodshed.
That's what happens when TikTok is around. TikTok calls them cults and bloodshed. Losers. Us based, red-pilled, awakened, anti-Matrix followers. We worship the blood gods over in this house.
There's even been ancient depictions of bovine-faced keepers of secrets, with massively exaggerated and curvaceous physical features.
Oh god, that sounds like some Slanussy.
That have been documented in cave paintings from ancient long-dead societies.
That's crazy. So even though Slanesh is born in the 30Ks in human history, since everything in the warp that ever exists has always existed and always will exist, there have always been branches of this chaos god.
And were believed by some to have been worshipped as a form of fertility goddess.
Dude, why do they all have like 6 nipples? Can you explain this to me? It's like, fertility goddess, more nipples! Blood for the blood god! Skulls for the skull throne! Nipples for...
And were believed by some to have been worshipped as a form of fertility goddess.
Bruh.
Even in the grimdark future, there are countless underground cults that have dedicated the entirety of their existence to the worship and following of a single greater demon.
That's wild. So even the actual greater demons have worshippers.
Although each of the 4 greater demons are a truly horrifying foe to face in battle, their true terror is not just in their destructive nature, but
I don't know, boobs for the boob god sounds pretty base, not gonna lie.
in their ability to corrupt the masses, to spread their vile messages of hatred, rot, excess, and deceit.
I mean, ultimately, isn't that always the fear? I know this is gonna sound a little bit philosophical, but the fear isn't always might through strength. The fear is so often might through ideology. I mean, look at what was going on around the world wars with the fear of communism just absolutely ravaging and destroying, you know, the United States, for example. Like, the fear always culminated as a fear of ideology. So much. Every culture throughout history has tried to shelter people from ideologies of opponents, you know?
To lay low the foundations of mankind, not only through physical violence, but by twisting the hearts and minds of mortals against each other. Each and every one of them has a role to play within the great game, and only the truly ignorant and foolish would ever enter into a pact with such a malignant abomination.
I don't know, man. Dildos for the sex closet god sounds like, I don't know.
Now that we know a bit more about what
Summoning them is basically a win condition for chaos because they take over a planet with sheer psychic presence. Holy shit.
a greater
Wait, so, oh god, that's insane.
demon is, let's talk about all 4 of them in greater detail, and we'll start with the Bloodthirsters of Khorne.
Yeah!
Out of all the
Floop the pig! Kill the corn!
the demonic servants of the blood god, none are as exalted as the Bloodthirsters.
Is the Bloodthirster one the one that Tzeentch convinced to betray Khorne and stabbed Khorne in the back, but Khorne was too strong and the stab didn't work, so Khorne just hurled him across the universe? Is that one of the Bloodthirsters that did that?
For they are rage and slaughter given form, the unholy avatars of Khorne's infinite hatred, and are by far the most straightforward of all of the demons that we're going to be talking about in this.
Listen, rage ultimately is straightforward. Being angry, liking violence, that's a pretty straightforward ideology. Weavers of change! No, that's complicated as shit. Scarbrand was one of them. Nice. Scarbrand hates going outside and going inside. Scarbrand will stay in the doorframe. He hates it slightly less.
This video. They exist purely for war. Their only goal, to drown the worlds of our galaxy
In blood.
in figurative and sometimes literal oceans of blood. Wherever the blood gods chosen go, they infect the population with a sickness of slaughter.
These guys are just actual berserkers. They roll out there, but they're diseased berserkers. They are walking bombs of mad cow disease.
Their hatred a disease that spreads with a malevolent sentience.
Dude, imagine if hatred was contagious. Oh wait, it literally is. Hatred is literally contagious. I totally forgot about that fact. You just say some hate shit on Twitter about some random guy, and all of a sudden it has 40,000 likes on it. I'm that guy that's getting harassed in my metaphor. And then it's literally contagious. It's like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's probably a predator. Because some guy on Twitter said it, so therefore it must be true. It must be true! Oh my god!
So effective, it would make Khorne's brother Nurgle, the Lord of Plagues, envious. At his core, Khorne is a warrior god, and none better encapsulate his essence more so than the Bloodthirsters, entities that quake the universe under the weight of their rage.
So when do they decide to show up? Just whenever they want? Whenever there's a lot of rage, it tears a hole in the warp or whatever and they show up? Like, do they decide where to go? Do they have tactical attacks?
Here are the Blood God's emissaries, who spread his unholy message of unfettered rage.
Dicks for the dick god! Bitches for the bitch throne! Chad, can you stop saying things that makes me want to read them out loud, please?
Not with words, but through the divine instruments of sword, axe, and whip. Every weapon stroke, every twist of the blade, sends a reverberating message across space and time. A simple yet powerful proclamation of their purpose. Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne.
Khorne for the cornfield.
The Bloodthirsters are Khorne's generals and commanders, leaders of his vast horde of bloodthirsty demons, and each one is a towering monster clad in blood-drenched brass armor. They wield titanic melee weapons that have been infused with demonic hatred, and
Bro, I know demonic swords, alright? You know, honestly, if only we had this guy, you know what I'm saying? If only we had this boy. This guy, this goat over here. Dude, I can't, what? Where is it? Bro, I'm just saying. It would literally just be that easy if we had one of these. If we had just one of these, it would be over. It would literally be over. One of these, legendary demon blood sword. Oh yeah, my goat, my actual goat. My dude, my goat, yes. The demon blood sword. If only we had Finn in real life.
And hunger for the blood of mortals, many of which are capable of flight, as they are also draped in enormous leathery bat wings.
Oh, shit.
These bloodthirsters soar through the skies in pursuit of worthy prey, kept aloft by air currents that have been superheated by their own hatred. They are utterly relentless in the pursuit of single-minded violence, and thus are unshackled from the weaknesses of doubt, mercy, and compassion.
The ultimate berserkers. This is like, you know when Vikings used to drug themselves to become overpowered killing machines? That's just these guys.
They are some of these
just super strong, flying pieces of shit. I wonder what, like, an actual power scaling, what's the name of the guy? What's the name of a famous greater demon? Scarbrand? Is that a guy? I don't even know if that's a guy. Yeah. So dude, okay, I love this wiki so much. So this is Scarbrand, the goat himself. So apparently, so let's see some of his actual stats here. All right, so we got attack potency. All right, attack potency. Depending on the amount of slaughter he's done, as well as warp energy he draws from, at least city block level. All right, city block level destructive force. He is generally comparable to Primarchs and the Daemon Angron. He fought Gilliman. He fought Gilliman in single combat? There's no way. Oh my glob. He can get to large island level? Okay, possibly large country level, depending on the shit. Okay, all right. He struck Khorne and left a small crack in his armor. That's the extent of it. That's insane. That's crazy. Speed is at least hypersonic. Right? He fought Gilliman, as we've already established. Lifting strength, class K, alright. Comparable to Angron and shit. Angron lifted a 410-ton Warhound Titan. So if you're on that same level, that's crazy. Durability, alright. Withstood blows from Gilliman. Withstood blows that was able to punch through a tank hull. All right, that's crazy. Infinite stamina because he continued to fight forever. Literally infinite stamina. Shit. All right, that's crazy. Dude's broken. Just OP as shit. Could fight like goddamn.
Strongest singular melee combatants that have ever been documented within the grimdark future, and are an unstoppable force, destruction incarnate, and unflinching butchers of the weak. There is no reasoning with a Bloodthirster, no chance for a parlay, but at least with the other greater demons, they might be able to offer you something that you want in exchange for your corruption, cooperation, or alignment. Now this is obviously a catch-22 and is a surefire path towards damnation, but the option at least exists. The only thing a Bloodthirster can offer anyone who would foolishly stand in their way
is death.
Is death in the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Name of Khorne. For a Bloodthirster does not see the individual. He doesn't see the merits of any given person.
All right, these guys are just fucking crazy. Remove any form of compassion from fighting and you get these fuckers.
No matter how accomplished their deeds, no matter what contribution they have made to the universe, and no matter what they could possibly offer the Bloodthirster, to them, they are simply either a coward that needs to be culled or a challenger to be defeated. There are several different types of Bloodthirsters, and they are organized in an 8-fold hierarchy of different hosts. Unfortunately, as of the time of recording this video, we've only been given insight into 4 of them. That is...
There are 8 Bloodthirsters? Oh my god, so the Imperium is super outnumbered here! Like, I know that we're always talking about how the Tyranids are like this massive threat, or the Necrons are this massive threat. Chaos is a massive threat too! The Imperium is cooked, dude! Oh my god! Angron canonically has a kill counter on his helmet that's in the billions. Oh my fucking god, dude.
The first host, the Exalted Bloodthirsters, of which there are only 8 and are supposedly the mightiest of their kind. The third host, known as the Wrath of Khorne. The 6th host, the Bloodthirsters of Insensate Rage. And the 8th host, the Bloodthirsters of Unfettered Fury. These are the Bloodthirsters that most commonly wield a pair of weapons. One, the massive iconic axes of Khorne.
Yep.
That are capable of carving a battle tank in half with a single swing.
Makes sense.
And in their offhand, a vicious whip that has been studded with brass spikes and arcs across the air, cracking with the sound of thunder as the terrible lash renders entire mobs into gelatinous gore. On the other hand,
dude, bro is a walking blender. He just pulls out a whip and turns people into smoothies.
We have the Bloodthirsters of Insensate Rage, who are potentially the most mindlessly savage.
That's Karn, not Angron, that has that helmet in the billions? Alright, hell yeah.
Of all of the Bloodthirsters, in that they are so utterly consumed within the fires of Khorne's rage that they have been rendered utterly incoherent with anger. Now, all Bloodthirsters are brutal, don't get it twisted, but whereas the other Bloodthirsters exist as a blend of brutality and tactical expertise.
Oh god, not the character.
The Bloodthirsters of Insensate Rage are like a force of nature, a hurricane of violence that is utterly unpredictable and unable to be controlled.
So what do you do against these guys? If they show up, are you just cooked? Like all the other guys, like, oh yeah, psychers, whatever, schmikers, psychers, you can figure something out. But like, what do you do against this? Just like, imagine a fucking crack opens in the warp and just a million of these fucking guys pop out. Like, what do? You use warp magic and a lot, shoot and pray.
They wield massive two-handed axes as tall as a fortress gate and drive all those that follow them into a deranged kill frenzy. Finally, there are the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirsters, airborne predators that scour the battlefield in search of worthy prey.
What do you do? Literally, what do you do? This is just brute force incarnate. They can fly, they're fast as fuck, they're strong as shit.
Their role on the battlefield takes the form of a giant winged assassin, an arrogant hunter that seeks to humble only the worthiest of heroes. From their vantage point in the sky, they seek out enemy warlords, generals, and champions of renown before swooping down with a single goal of butchering them in the name of the Blood God. For as terrifying as the Bloodthirsters are, the next greater demon that we're going to
Oh god, alright, so that was the Bloodthirsters. Alright, so the Bloodthirsters ultimately pretty simple. They're very angry motherfuckers. They make everyone else very angry. The more war that they go through, the stronger they get. So they have limitless stamina, and they're just insanely strong, fast pieces of shit. Alright, I respect.
Talk about is the fear of death shared by all sentient creatures given form. If we were to rank the greater demons in terms of which is capable of eliciting the strongest feelings of utter revulsion in mortals, the great unclean ones would certainly be at the top of the list.
Alright, Asmongold fans, I see you.
They are titanic amalgamations of disease-ridden, rotten flesh, mountains of rancid blubber that are clouded by swarms of demonic flies.
Big stinky boys, big fucking smell boys.
And whose maggot-ridden innards spill forward and drag through the muck and grime of the battlefield from tears and gashes in the demons' swollen bellies. They are each covered in clusters of weeping pustules that incubate swarms of pestilent nerdlings and chattering needle-teethed imps that are
actual just pestilence creatures. Fucking spreaders of pestilence. These guys went to get Ozempic drugs one day, and they were like, nah, bro, you can't afford that. Have you considered subscribing to Lizzo?
Erupt from the Great Unclean One soars like a tide of leprous, disease-riddled piranhas. The combination of the Great Unclean One's physical body horror
is they're Reddit mods. Some of them have even worked their way to Discord moderators.
And pungent, rancid stench is so potent, it can drive all of those in its presence into madness.
I've smelled bad shit in the past, but shit bad enough to drive you to madness? Like, that's incomprehensible.
And despite their horrifying appearance, the Great Unclean Ones actually exhibit a strange duality that is unique to the denizens of Nurgle's Garden.
Nurgle's Garden? Alright. Unique shit.
On one hand, they are single-handed.
Canonically, they are the happiest creatures in Warhammer. Because they love themselves? Bro, what is this? Body positivity? Body positivity. They love being smelly, rotty, and pestilence infested. They love their weeping pustules.
The most grotesque and disturbing entities that have ever blighted our universe. Yet, conversely, they display a deep paternal affection for
that's so wholesome!
all those that follow them into battle. They are like loving parents that view each of their demonic warriors and mortal servants alike like a proud father may view their children.
That is so wholesome. Big chunky boy, he just loves his homies. Oh god.
They take pride in the achievements of each of them and bestow upon them ever more virulent and disgusting blessings derived from the grandfather himself.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? More disgusting blessings. It's like, congratulations on your victory that day. May you grow more pustules in the future. May your fucking cysts have more pus than they used to have.
When the legions of Nurgle march to wars, the war cries of the blubberous Great Unclean Ones are at odds with those displayed by other demonic generals.
They're honestly wholesome? That's great. How? Congratulations, you just developed COVID 40,000.
Whereas a Bloodthirster of Khorne may shout only incoherent ramblings that are dripping with anger and bloodlust, the Great Unclean One in turn shouts booming words of encouragement to his children, a proclamation of he and Nurgle's eternal love. There are many Great Unclean Ones that have even viewed the enemy as simply misguided. Individuals that, although
you are misguided, you have yet to embrace rot. You have yet to embrace the stench. Oh, you fools. All right, let's do some power scaling on the Great Unclean Ones, all right? So, Great Unclean Ones, baby, let's go. Attack power, large island levels. Bloodthirsters can generate storms with just their wing beats. Bloodthirsters, we're in the Great Unclean Ones. All right. Able to crush rocks and steel. That's pretty awful. Pretty awful. Hate that. Speed, hypersonic. Dude, I feel like we're back on the Great Unclean Ones. All right, what are their powers? Let's go. Large size. Great. Ether manipulation, teeth and horns. This seems like it's much more generic to demons in general. And then specifically those guys, the fart gods. All right.
Fortunate they have found themselves in conflict with one another, it simply need to be shown the truth.
Bro, these guys Nurgle played one game of Elden Ring and he was like, you were right, Miyazaki. I do in fact like the Lake of Rot.
The beauty of decay. An entropic message that the Great Unclean One and its herd of disgusting followers.
I love how ultimately embracing this ideal of rot it's kind of fascinating if you think about it, because these guys accept. They accept reality for the way it is, and that's always the healthiest mindset. Much better to accept reality for what it is than live in a fucking dream world where everything shocks your worldview because you actually didn't know anything about anything. Like, these guys, they accept the fact that there is rot and decay everywhere, and why hate someone for that? And why hate? It's literally just the most wholesome thing. Can we please get some Millennia X Nurgle fan art? Please? That would literally make my whole day better. Like, these guys, they love you for who you are. You just embrace reality. Everything rots. They're all friends. Like, this is the most wholesome shit in the universe.
Are all too happy to enforce upon the ignorant. The jovial nature of the Great Unclean One is simply a mask. They are malevolent creatures.
Aw, man! Oh, man!
that seek to spread filth and disease across the known universe, and they do not take kindly to their ideals of rot being rejected.
As they shouldn't! Bro, as we've already concluded, the reason why demons and chaos, unlike the Eldar or the Necrons or the Tyranids, where the ultimate fear is always them just fucking, you know, overpowering you, the fear for the chaos factions is always going to be the ideology infecting you. Because if their ideology infects everyone, well, then, believe it or not, the fight is already over. There's crony, Nurgle, fan art. What? 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 Are you joking? This isn't real, right? Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Why the fuck does this exist? Holy shit. Brother, my homie, I don't even know where to start with this, bros. Oh my god, dude.
To harm.
Oh my god, that crony Asmongold collab was crazy. Nux X Slanesh art. All right, bro.
Any of the lesser demons under his command, or reject his pestilent gifts through the use of medicine and vaccines, is to twist its joy and love into a fiery paternal rage. When roused to fight, the Great Unclean One is a perplexing and terrifying sight. They are unstoppable in their advance, and
don't love that. Don't love that. See, like, I love how the demons of Khorne, they're fast as fuck. They're insanely strong. They just dive in there and fucking kill people. And then you have the Great Unclean Ones. They will slowly advance and consume everything.
Are seemingly immune.
Their advancement is inevitable as the rot that will feast upon your bones.
To harm, as bullets and blades are shrugged off as if they were nothing more than bothersome insects.
Oh god.
Despite the seeming impossibility of it, considering the minuscule legs that support the monstrosity, the Great Unclean One is said to be inhumanly fast. They charge into the enemy like an enormous fetid wrecking ball that leaves behind a trail of destruction and oozing filth.
Oh, are you kidding me? They're fast too? Hypersonic blobs of rotten disease? Holy shit.
Like a rotund, leprous battering ram, the Great Unclean One wreaks havoc through the enemy lines as fortifications are smashed apart and infantry is sent flying in every direction. Their weaponry comes in the form of plague flails, filth-encrusted bile blades, and rusted doomsday bells.
Oh, God. What do you do? What do you literally do? What do you do? It's just the fat godskin noble, honestly.
Each of which is an unholy
hypersonic ugly bastard on his way to commit more NTR.
Instrument of plague, dripping in virulent toxins, viruses, and bacteria that are so potent.
Dude, 4 Space Marines in front of this fucking guy.
They can infect the atmosphere around them with pestilence. Whereas the Great Unclean One may not be as physically strong as its counterpart within the Legions of Khorne, their ludicrous endurance allows them to weather the storm of an entire army. What's more, they're capable of breathing in deep the pestilent winds of the Garden of Nurgle to vomit forth psychic tides of filth, maggots, and mucus that—
They vomit psychic force and mutants and maggots and shit? Dude, what do you do? What do you fucking do? Oh, those aren't Space Marines, they're Grey Knights in this image? They got this? What do you mean they got this? 4 Grey Knights can go up against one of these greater Nurgle demons?
That inflict all those caught within its torrential downpour with a virulent cocktail of horrendous demonic diseases. The bodies of each of these stench lords acts kind of like a cauldron and is constantly in motion to make ever more terrifying plagues, each of which is brewed deep within their guts to perfect potency, before finally bursting forth from their bellies to spread their virulent contents in every direction.
That's me, making content, spreading my virulent content in every direction. Dude, this is crazy. The Grey Knights are designed to fight demons and written very OP. Okay. But still, it's like, it seems like they do have some sort of society, right? By the fact that they all do have, like, things that they believe in, right? They all have these things that they believe in and fight for that makes them slightly different than their actual Chaos Gods. They're not avatars of the Chaos Gods. That said, obviously they subscribe to that mentality. I suppose, to the demons, the Imperium looks like one just giant horde of people fighting for the same ideology. By the fact that Chaos and Order are complete opposites, we view, the Imperium views demons as just hordes of a single trope, and they view the Imperium as just hordes of a single trope. The, Order, for example. So while even though they are all different in their own way, just like humans are all different, to someone in such a completely opposite mentality, they all look the same. It's wild. That's wild.
Killing such a creature is nearly an impossible task, as melee and ranged weaponry prove to be almost entirely useless against them.
Can you only beat them with Psykers? Is Psykers the only way to, effectively fight demons?
Blades get caught in rolls of rancid fat and weeping innards, and bolter shells detonate into clouds of pus and filth that
Sorry, I blocked your cannon with pus!
Serve only to aid the creature in its mission of spreading rot. On the rare occasion that one of them is actually brought down,
get yourself a girl that smiles when she sees you like Papa Nurgle.
The victory is almost always cut short by the sound of the demon's immense body detonating.
Detonating? If you actually kill a greater unclean one, it just fucking becomes a chemical warhead?
This comes in the form of an explosion of demonic excrement, acid, contagions, and seemingly countless other demonic parasitic life forms.
Living chemical weapons! Ah!
That have been gestating within its bulk. The fear that is generated by the Great Unclean Ones comes by just how utterly repulsive and disgusting they are. But the
Slanussy time.
Next demon we're going to talk about on this list goes in the complete opposite direction.
Beautiful, baby.
And is equally as terrifying. Out of all of the greater demons, the Keeper of Secrets is by far the most perplexing and confusing.
Wait, so is the Keeper of Secrets a character in the world of Warhammer? Or a title? Keeper of Secrets is a character. That's wild. Oh my god, dude. It's so cool when they collab with Magic the Gathering. First strike, haste. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Keeper of Secrets deals damage to that amount of spells. Oh my god. Big fucking burn lady.
On one hand, they are loathsome, repugnant monstrosities that delight in the misery and suffering of others. Yet, on the other hand, they are elegant and beautiful. Glamorous patrons that bestow
Oh my god, it looks just like James Charles!
On the faithful every indulgence they could possibly imagine. To witness a Keeper of Secrets is to witness the totality of beauty and revulsion in a singular reality-defying entity.
That's chaos, baby. That's chaos, baby. That's chaos, baby. Because let me explain something to you. If this demon, the Keeper of Secrets, is truly an agent of excess, then it'll be the excess on all sides. The excess of beauty and the excess of disgust are just excess. And it fucking works so well to describe these demons as extremes on all sides. Extreme beauty, extreme disgust, extreme revulsion, extreme love. Like, they are literally extremes, and every extreme will destroy you. Gonna use those horns as handlebars, bro. Chat, can you please touch some grass, please?
As everything about them exemplifies their conflicted nature. Their towering, lithe bodies are an androgynous fusion of human and animal parts, a sensual combination of additional appendages and claws.
A sensual combination of appendages and claws, brother.
All wrapped in scintillating clothing, woven from the finest of materials.
I literally cannot see anything that's on the screen right now. I can't see anything. I can't see anything. It's all purple.
Their powerful muscular form is coated in balms and scented oils.
Okay, I thought I was gonna say coated in bombs. Oh, fuck.
Well as jewels of impossible worth that accentuate its hypnotic movements. The mind-altering musks they generate, although difficult to describe, are said to smell like a combination of the world's most illustrious perfume, mixed with rotting meat.
Damn. It's always the two extremes. The extreme beauty and the extreme horror at the same time. Crazy.
To witness such a creature is to simultaneously experience fear and joy.
Slanussy has already detonated this bomb. Kid Queen!
Despair and hope, revulsion and arousal, suffering and pleasure. Emotions that the Keeper of Secrets delights in forcing upon mortals. To simply stand in their presence is to surrender the entirety of one's self-will.
Ah!
It doesn't matter how disciplined
I don't know, man. I just lost my my self-will for a second right there. Censored by His Majesty's Holy Inquisition.
they are. It doesn't matter how much they pride themselves on their ability to resist temptation.
Guys, I have a question. If someone has 4 boobs, are the 2 lower boobs counted as underboobs, or is underboob only the lower part of each individual boob? I'm just asking for science and terminology purposes and lore reasons. I'm not actually. I'm just asking for pure lore reasons. Like, do the 2 lower boobs count as underboob? Or only the lower part of boobs? Even the lower... So the lower part of the higher boob is still underboob, according to you? Look, I'm just asking the questions that we all wanted to know! Heritage! Oh, no.
To the Keeper of Secrets, all is laid bare. Every thought, every desire, every hope and wish that they have ever experienced.
Twitter will clip this, and I'm just asking the questions that everyone wanted to know. A boob in the hand is worth 2 in the bra, as they say.
Exists as ammunition the creature can use to manipulate and dominate its foes by infecting their mind with whispered promises that are impossible to resist. Their ability to manipulate on a grand scale is one of the most dangerous things about them.
Wait, so the Keeper of Secrets are also manipulative? So the Keeper of Secrets is a title, it seems like, for the greater demons of Slaanesh. And so they manipulate, that's their thing. Big manipulators, because they can always give tantalizing levels of excess in different areas to different people.
As none are immune to their ability to deceive and corrupt, and entire sectors can fall.
Dude, it's so fucking good. It's just so fucking good that you'll have the people that believe in excess as big deceivers and seducers and corruptors. Because ultimately, you know, just look at politics, okay? You'll have a totally normal guy, whether they're right-wing or they're left-wing, you'll have a totally normal guy, and then you'll have the absolute insane fuckers on the extremes literally just corrupting people. Yes! I will corrupt you, I will pull you into my web of corruption. Just become far left or far right. And they'll pull you in. They'll say, I'm just like you.
All under their influence. This isn't to say that they aren't also a terrifying force upon the battlefield, as in addition to them being the masters of manipulation, they are also vicious and graceful killers that delight in the sadistic excess of wanton violence.
Well, I mean, everything is excess. Excess murder is excess too.
That being said, violence is only one part of the infinite spectrum of excess that Slaanesh delights in. Thus, the Keepers of Secrets are only deployed in force when all else has failed.
Wait! So excess war is just, like, the bar? It's literally the bar? If they can do other depraved shit, they're not even gonna need to fight because, bro, war excess is weak shit compared to fucking, I don't know, boob excess.
When the ignorant of mankind reject the pleasures of the Dark Prince, the Keepers of Secrets take to the battlefield.
That's crazy. They're like, hey guys, you wanna have the craziest orgy of all time? And they're like, no? Okay, we go to war!
To correct this misjudgment through great and terrible violence. Violence that will be delivered in spectacular excess. They take a sickening pleasure in all forms of slaughter and torture.
Oh, good.
And are like...
Right? Because if you think about it, no one else wants to torture you. Oh, that's so fucking smart. So... The Khorne guys, they just want to brutally kill you. They derive no pleasure in torture. They derive pleasure in war, blood, and victory. All right? That's what the Khorne guys are doing. The Nurgle guys, they love you. They love you. And they are spreading their love to you. They love each other. These big, rotted, revolting balls of shit. And they will turn you into a pestilence-induced, big, rotting ball of shit. And they will love you too. The Slaanesh ones love excess, and that includes torture. What's worse than killing someone? It's torturing them before killing them.
Twisted artists that view the act of excruciatingly painful death dealing as a form of creative expression. When unleashed upon the battlefield...
Chat, never use the term death edging ever again. These are not torture gooners, okay? Torture is not a form of gooning.
Their sensual and delicate forms are at odds with their horrendously strong, blinding strikes that come out of nowhere at Quicksilver's speed.
You know how you kill Slaanesh? Is when someone shows you a picture of Slaanesh and they're like, what do you rate her out of 10? And you're like, 5 out of 10. She would literally die on the spot.
They are ludicrously fast, faster perhaps than any of the other demons aligned to the ruinous powers. They tear across the battlefield.
Excess speed, baby.
Every strike so expertly delivered that it spills blood in a pleasing pattern and spreads severed limbs across the field in the form of an exotic tapestry.
Oh god, dude! It's like, oh, I like to kill an enemy army, but make sure that their limbs are spelling out my name.
They are sadistically cruel, monstrously powerful.
These guys are like Thanos, dude. Do you know the Thanos thing? Thanos, planets. You know in the comic what Thanos did? Comic. Why can't I not find this image? Come on. Come on. There we go. So in the comics, Thanos is such a fucking insane whack job. Thanos killed all the people on all these planets and moved the planets together to spell his name Thanos. Oh my god, Thanos is even purple and hot. He's just a Slaneshian. That's crazy. That's
powerful,
crazy.
And perhaps most terrifyingly of all, frighteningly intelligent. Every act they commit, every foe they maim, is part of the Keeper's grand orchestra of pain, a symphony of suffering.
Yeah. Thanos fucked with a random guy for years. Oh, dude, so Thanos did a thing where he would show up on someone's birthday every time it was his birthday, and he would kill everyone by his birthday party. Then he stopped having birthday parties, and Thanos would still show up and just fuck with him and ruin his day. And he would keep saying, it's Thanos. No one would believe him, because what Thanos actually cares about this one guy. But yes, he literally cared and came back every single year on his birthday to torment him. Literally.
Accentuated by the percussion of explosions and the crescendo of the agonized screams of their victims.
Crescendo of screams. Sounds about right.
As they are torn limb from limb. Aside from their remarkable skills as a physical combatant, they are also practitioners of the mystical arts. Their powers can be used to lead the weak to their doom, turn allies against each other, or unleash terrifying psychic agony across a wide area.
Yeesh. You know what's worse than the Khorne demons coming and just butchering you? It's the Slaanesh demons that aren't butchering you for the sake of butchering you, but they're butchering you just because it's fun. Torturing you is a video game, and excess is victory. That's crazy.
There is nothing more seductive to the Keepers themselves than the corruption.
You missed 2 nipples there. Editor, my editor, can you, by order of the Emperor, this is heresy!
Of warriors with particularly noble hearts, individuals that believe themselves incorruptible and are set on a path of discipline and virtue. To twist the heart of such a stoic individual and turn their quest for glory into a debased lusting for excess and depravity.
You are joking. You're joking. They don't go after depraved people because it's not extreme to get a depraved guy to do depraved shit. What they love doing is going after virtuous, stoic, good people and turning them into depraved cocksleeves. That is nightmarishly evil. That is mustache twirling in its evil.
Is like an irresistible drug to the Keepers. Thus, they will routinely seek out such men and women, sacrificing
Good news, chat. You guys are safe. Like, upside, y'all safe.
Them to the perverted will of Slaanesh. Although it may be difficult to believe, it is said that the Keepers of Secrets and many of Slaanesh's demonic forces in general enjoy battle even more than the bloodthirsty warriors of Khorne. However, despite their shared appreciation for death-dealing, there does exist a bitter rivalry between the two gods and their forces. Slaanesh views Khorne as a brute that cannot appreciate the beauty of war, a simpleton that is too
Interesting, because war is an overlap between Khorne and Slaanesh, right? For the other guys, like, let's say, Rot. Rot is not an overlap, all right? Nurgle could fucking have Rot, all right? Change in the future and shit. That could go... Tzeentch could keep that shit. But war is a specific point that is A, anger and violence for Khorne, and B, literally an excess of strife and torture. So that works for Slaanesh. So because it's an intersection of these two worlds with varying ideologies, it is a rivalry between them. That's really interesting.
Consumed with the act of...
These gods aren't homies, it's important to know. The Chaos Gods aren't friends. They only work together when one of the Chaos Gods gets too strong, like we saw when Tzeentch became overpowered. Tzeentch became really strong, and the other 3 Chaos gods all teamed up to take Tzeentch down.
Slaughter, that they are incapable of savoring the ecstasy of it. Khorne and his followers, on the other
Nurgle and Tzeentch fight because Nurgle is stagnation and Tzeentch is change. Fascinating.
hand, despise Slaanesh. Battle is all that matters. Killing is a purpose in and of itself, and to draw out the victim's suffering is nothing more than a roadblock to spilling more blood. And
honestly, so he is noble in some way. Khorne. Khorne is amazing, dude. He's like, Slaanesh, listen. If you torture someone before you kill them, all that time you've spent torturing them, you could have spent killing more people. You loser, you fool.
Taking more skulls. To us mortals, the act of wanton slaughter is obviously reprehensible, but
Alright, dude. Cute.
we can at least understand why a demonic entity would delight in pursuing it. However, the strange esoteric objectives of the next demon on this list are utterly incomprehensible.
Yo, Tzeentch boys! They're easily my favorites. I don't know. Nurgle and Tzeentch are my favorites for sure. As far as factions go.
To the followers of Tzeentch, sorcery, deception, and knowledge are some of the greatest tools in the galaxy, instruments that can be used to bring about change in all forms.
Slaanesh cares about looking cool. Khorne cares about KDA. Dude, Slaanesh will do a 360 no-scope trick shot, and then Khorne will just kill, 15 people in the span that it took Slaanesh to do that.
Forms, from the subtle and personal to the cataclysmic and galaxy-defining. None better encapsulate the ideals of the Architect of Fate, more so than his greater demons, the Lords of Change.
Alright, dude. I'm ready. I'm ready, bro!
Although, despite existing as repositories of forbidden lore and remarkable psychic ability, even they are nothing more than pawns in the infinite labyrinthian plots and schemes of their master. The nature of change is a fickle beast, and thus the Lords of Change can take on a variety of different forms, though they most often—
Do they fight in wars too? Are they just to guide the future towards something Tzeentch wants?
appear as lanky humanoid birds with long necks and extended limbs, with resplendent plumage.
And lots of eyes, I've noticed.
They are often draped in clothing reminiscent of what we would associate with wizards, mages, and high priests. And although their powerful limbs, claws, and beaks, as well as the sparkling blades they wield, make them no slouch in melee combat, the real power of the Lord of Change comes in the form of the magics that it is capable of wielding.
So what would a Grey Knight do against these guys? Because it seems like warp energy is the ultimate fly swatter for every demon. But when these guys are wielding warp energy probably on a level that is equal, if not stronger than the actual Grey Knights, what the fuck do you do?
They are
big fucking robots? Like, what do you do against these guys?
Sorcerers without equal, and wield the raw essence of chaos more expertly than even the most skilled assassins can wield a blade or firearm. Their sorcery can come in a lot of different forms, each more terrifying to behold than the last. On one hand, they may send forth billowing plumes of pink and blue warp fire that burn not only flesh, but the souls of their victims as well.
But why would they do that? You keep the souls go to the warp, and then you turn them into demons.
Twisting and contorting them into gibbering creatures of chaos. On the other hand, their magic may be far more subtle, sending out deceptive waves of psychic manipulation that induce feelings of dread, confusion, fear, or any other emotion that the Lord of Change wishes.
Yikes.
They are the masters of illusion and can trap the minds of their foes in an infinitely complex network of lies and deceit.
I cast testicular torsion, and then mend butt crack,
rendering their physical form helpless to the encroaching hordes of Tzeentchian demons. With a few well-placed lies, a Lord of Change can manipulate mortals in its presence to reveal treasured secrets.
Oh, they're so cool. They're literally so cool. They're literally so cool. How could Tzeentch's guys not be your favorite? How could you like the Chaos guys or the fucking other guys more than Tzeentch's? They're literally so cool.
Betray their brothers, ignore ethics and laws, and whether willingly
what are ethics and laws? Sounds like a mortal shit.
Or unwillingly, commit their life to doing the will of Tzeentch.
They'll commit their life, because the thing is, what's so ironic is all the other demon lords, right? They all basically lay their game plan out for their greater demons, right? Khorne will lay out the fucking game plan and say, all right, the game plan is we are committing genocide this Thursday, and everyone's like, ah! right? And then you'll have Slaanesh saying, all right, excess, baby. Go commit some atrocities and insane nebulous amounts of carnage and destruction. And they're all just like, woo! And then you have the chronically online Reddit mod Nurgle stands that is like, guys, we are going to spread our love through pestilence and decay. And they're just like, ah! But then you have Siege, who's actively manipulating his own Lords of Change. They do not know his game plan. His game plan is so unknowable, even his own Lords that are doing his will have no idea what he's going for, what he's actually trying to do. That is insane.
They are by far the most intelligent of all of the greater demons, and thus dedicate their immortal lives to collecting information, learning everything there is to know within the material and immaterial universe, to the point where they are effectively omniscient. Their intellect,
omniscient, bro,
is so towering and oppressive that when they gaze upon mortals, they do not see
your Tzeentch propaganda means nothing to me, you heretic. That's not what I'm saying, man! That's not what I'm not saying you should worship Tzeentch, even though maybe you should. For all you know, I am an agent of Tzeentch here to convince you about this shit, so don't trust me, bro. Don't trust me. And when I say don't trust me, it might just be trying to manipulate you to trust me. That's possible, okay? That's possible. I'm just saying. I am absorbing all the Warhammer lore, and my skin is kind of a pale blue, all right? I'm just saying.
Their physical form, but see every moment in their life. Every hope and dream, every failure and success, every fear and ambition that the individual has ever experienced. It would be like if you had the ability to look at another person,
all right,
and then just based
look at another person. You have to meet other people to look at them, all right?
On a quick assessment of their personality, physical appearance, and speech pattern, you would know everything about them. Every step they have ever taken throughout their life that led them to this moment.
Wait, so these Lords of Change are actually omniscient creatures that know everything, but still, compared to their master Tzeentch, know so little. Tzeentch can manipulate them into doing his bidding in ways that will bring their own destruction. Imagine an omniscient being so pathetic and puny in his knowledge compared to their Lord, that they are purely just manipulated. You'd think that the ones that know everything are the ones that are freest, but he knows everything and he's still manipulated. Nux isn't the Lord of Change, he's the Lord of Spare Change. What the fuck, guys? Come on! Why can't you be like every other streamer's chat and just be like, peepo hi or something?
Every experience they ever had that made them who they are. To make eye contact with such an entity is to witness the entirety of the paradoxical nature and wisdom of Tzeentch. It is no wonder that few can exist under the gaze of such a creature without immediately having their mind fractured and their sanity eroded.
Damn.
And thus it is that the Lords of Change are so particularly dangerous, not just because of the psychic obliteration that they can unleash upon the battlefield.
Not because they'll murder you in psychic ways and in physical ways, but also because they might have manipulated you and your entire life. You meet a Lord of Change, your entire life might be different now, okay? Because you killed them on the battlefield, it could have triggered a butterfly effect that only an omniscient fucking bird like this piece of shit knew what he was doing.
But in how unbelievably skilled they are when it comes to manipulation. Although to know the true nature of Tzeentch and his plans is—
This is like the whole butterfly effect shit. Stepped on a worm, Twin Towers are now destroyed, you know? It's like that fucking bullshit.
An impossibly ludicrous notion. We can at least witness within his greater demons a desire to redirect the predictable course of history. To, in every possible scenario—
I want to say the gods aren't centralized beings, they don't know everything they know. Supposedly Tzeentch knows everything, but that doesn't mean he can remember anything at a given point. Alright, sure.
Direct the future down new and unexpected paths. The Lords of Change seem to have a deep loathing of the trappings of comfort, stability, and familiarity.
They hate comfort! Stability, because stability means no change. Stability means stagnation. Once people get satisfied and comfortable, y'all got too comfortable, bro. You gotta work hard, you gotta grind.
Instead, whether on an individual scale or scaled up to that of an entire world, a Lord of Change seeks to break apart the foundations of the consistent, to destroy the enduring and eliminate all constants.
I don't know, man. I'm a fucking heretic. I don't know what to tell you. Man.
They seek to obliterate worlds.
What's the name of that guy that became a Tzeentch dude? The Primarch? What's the Primarch guy that became the Tzeentch guy? I'm literally smoking that heretic. I'm hitting that heresy right now. Magnus? Bro, I feel that Magnus moment. Bro, Magnus.
And build them up anew in a twisted mockery of the former. They seem to revel in dashing the hopes of the ambitious, while simultaneously raising the dregs of society to positions of ultimate authority. Because of the Lords of Change nature and—
It's like they don't like the idea. It's like, oh, you think just because you're born a noble, you're gonna live a life of nobility? Ha! I am the Lord of Spare Change! See how I worked that into like an actual joke that's not insulting a genuinely nice guy like me?
and Tzeentch in general, it should come as no surprise that them and Nurgle do not get along. And
They're actually polar opposites. Despite them both being chaos, they are polar opposites at the ends of the spectrum of chaos.
Nurgle and his followers believe in the cyclical nature of the universe, that everything that begins must end, everything that lives must die, and
Dude, look at this art. This art is so fucking good.
that every creature, big and small, has a predetermined role to play in the inevitability of entropy. Tzeentch and his Lords of Change reject that notion, that there is no cycle, that life can go in any direction that it chooses, that there are no constants, and there is only change. I realize that this video has had a pretty serious tone, and now that we've had a bit of time to learn a bit more about all 4 of the greater demons, I want to take a moment to kind of relax a bit and have a bit more of a casual discussion about one thing in particular that tends to pop up in Warhammer discussions pretty frequently.
Which is the strongest? Which is the strongest?
And that's quite simply, which one of these dudes is the strongest?
Yeah. Which dick is longest, baby? The ultimate question. The ultimate question. All right, I'm just gonna say it right now. Strength, I don't think needs to be judged purely on power scaling basics. It's literally unfair to judge strength purely on a power scaling level when you have this psychic manipulation and omniscience. I think it goes without saying that by far, the strongest is the Lords of Change. Tzeentch's demons. Like, you will not convince me otherwise. Not only are they the fucking coolest, but they are definitely the strongest. I think Khornes are gonna probably be the most powerful just as far as combat goes. I think that would even surpass Slaanesh in terms of strength. Slaanesh is more manipulative, sure, but Khornes are gonna just be overpowered as shit. Probably the physically strongest. And the great unclean ones spreading rot and pestilence. I don't know. I think Tzeentch's is the strongest, then Khorne, then Slaanesh, and then the great unclean ones, I would say, is the weakest of the 4. Just on this brief assessment here. That's what I would say. Just purely based on, not that any of them are weak by any means, and obviously depending on the chaos in the world, any of them could become stronger at any given time. In a world of war, Khorne will be the strongest, and in a world of excess, Slaanesh will be the strongest, obviously. But just on a pure base level, that's what I'd say. Just as far as fear goes, Nurgle's ultimately just a nice guy, dude. Oh, man.
Now, many Warhammer fans claim that it is the Bloodthirster, as the lore specifically tells us that at this moment in time, Khorne has seen a resurgence. And
yeah, because right now you are in the grim, dark future of endless war. But if we have to try our best to not look at this from a perspective of current events and chaos. Look at this as a going standard as well.
It is considered to be the most powerful god, which makes sense when you think about it. Khorne's power is directly related to how much violence, hatred, wrath, and bloodshed—
and there's a lot of that! Have you seen Twitter?
—in the universe at any given moment. And in the grimdark future where there is only war, violence is not in short supply. However, we also know 2 important things. One is that all of the gods at one point or another have been considered the strongest.
Right. The gods' powers are always in flux based on the chaos that is in the actual world. So I think you have to look at this from like an average, where there's an equal amount of all levels of chaos. That's the only fair way to judge something like this. And I'm still going to say, I think the strongest is Tzeentch. It's going to be Tzeentch, Khorne, Slaanesh, Nurgle. He's the least proactive. He loves his creations, and don't get me wrong, I love him dearly. But that's what I gotta say.
As their influence ebbs and flows. And 2, time is a
ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, never broken, inevitably known.
Meaningless concept to the gods, for they have always existed and never existed simultaneously.
True.
Meaning, in a bit of a macro perspective, they are always existing simultaneously at their strongest and weakest point.
True,
All
true,
four
true,
of the
true.
greater demons are fully capable of doing what their siblings do, just in different ways. Like when it comes to their ability to corrupt, Tzeentch is often considered to be the master manipulator.
But sometimes Slaanesh is.
But Slaanesh is equally skilled in this department. Their deception just takes on different forms.
We get it. Dude, if he cops out and says they're all even, bro, don't you dare cop out and say they're all even. No!
One a bit more horny than the other.
Yeah.
Nurgle spreads his corruption through his diseases, and considering the virulent nature of pathogens, it's a foregone conclusion that such corruption will have no trouble spreading from person to person, or from world to world.
Dude, I love how he's not mentioning Khorne. You think war doesn't corrupt? Are you joking?
Or sector to
You think violence doesn't corrupt?
sector. Khorne's corruption functions in the exact same manner. It's just not as obvious. The hatred is a disease. It is a sickness of the mind and the soul, and it is profoundly contagious.
Oh, he's 100%, literally 100%. All these gods definitely do take forms and do share. Chaos is chaos. Chaos is fucking chaos.
It spreads on a personal scale from individual to individual, or on a grand scale through radio, Vox, pick feeds, or if we want to use a real-world example,
Twitch politics streamers.
even our social media feeds.
Boo, my example was better.
It mimics how a disease becomes a pandemic when it mutates to infect water supplies or become airborne. I mean, honestly, anyone who spent even a minute on the internet over the last 5 years should be well aware of just how easy it is for rage to transmit across channels.
True. Man, spittin', the Instagram ethos. I don't know, man. All of this is everything overlaps. Chaos is chaos, and everything will have its overlap. That's all very true.
When it comes to physical combat, however,
Obviously, Khornes are the strongest. No!
Bloodthirster may be the physically strongest and able to inflict the most damage with a single swing of their
Yeah, but dude, the fucking Lord of Change manipulators, they'll kill you before the game even starts!
blade. But the Great Unclean One can tank more damage than any of the other greater demons, and fights with plagues and diseases in a war of attrition. Meanwhile, the Keeper of Secrets can run circles around all of the other ones, while the Lord of Change fights primarily with magic.
And the mind, bro, dude, just the idea that it'll whisper something in your dream and you'll kill yourself is fucking unstoppable, okay?
And when it comes to magic, if I'm being honest with you, it's as powerful as the author needs it to be for any particular story.
Basically.
I personally think any attempt to rank them is
Twitter is Khorne, OnlyFans is Slaanesh, Facebook is Tzeentch, and MySpace is Nurgle. So true, bestie, so true.
ultimately meaningless, as their positive and negative traits combine together to come to a sum of 0. It may not be the most accurate way of looking at things, but I've always kind of thought of the greater demons in terms of RPG characters. You've got your tank, your fighter, your rogue, and your caster. No one combatant in the arena match is objectively superior. They all have different strengths and weaknesses. One may rise to the top.
I'm gonna say it. Cop-out answer. Is he right? Probably. But I'm gonna say it. Cop-out answer. I don't know, bro. Mindfuckery is always gonna be more dangerous than, well, fuckery, if you know what I'm saying. It is a much more direct way at destroying someone than brute force. Because when it comes to the fucking demons of Khorne, you have a hope that you'll be strong enough to defeat them. When it comes to Slaanesh, you have hope that you'll be strong enough, fast enough to outrun them. When it comes to Nurgle, you have hope that you'll become tanky enough to withstand them. But when it comes to Slaanesh, when it comes to Tzeentch, who literally controls the future and controls hope itself, you are fucked. Listen, I'm just gonna stand my legion, okay? I'm gonna stand my faction!
Up at one point or another, but then those patch notes come in and the meta shifts and everyone respecs or re-rolls. By this simple analogy I've laid out, I believe that the true threat is when the need arises for all of these demons to unite together, to set aside their hatred for one another and focus on a singular objective of destruction.
That's so wholesome. Focusing on singular destruction.
Anyone who's ever fought a raid boss before knows you're not going to do it with a doom stack of rogues or fighters. You need a balanced team. I honestly don't think it's a controversial statement to say that Chaos Undivided is substantially more dangerous than any of the gods acting on their own.
I mean, obviously, 100%. Dude's just accurate. It's just accurate.
The four ruinous
Power of friendship always wins, am I right?
powers uniting against a common enemy and a full party of greater demons assembling is apocalypse given form. But what do you think of all this? Which one of the greater demons is your favorite and why?
Tzeentch Stan, all the way. Literal Tzeentch Stan. They are OP as shit. And I'm gonna just say it. I think they're the strongest. I think they're the strongest. Okay. But he's probably right. He's probably right. It all depends on the warp. Obviously, Chaos Undivided will be the supreme. Obviously, they're all going to be relatively of equal standing based on the specific giving circumstance. Maybe it's just because, for me, I think mindfuckery is always the most dangerous shit. That's just what I'm thinking. I do think that at some point you will get Chaos coming together and maybe even befriending the Emperor ascended to godhood to fight off the Tyranid threat. I feel like that has to happen at some point. But all in all, this was a great video and definitely a good insight to all the Chaos factions and all the Chaos greater demons. We will keep going on Warhammer lore. Don't worry. The grind never fucking stops down here. I don't know if you've noticed. So we got to do Cyphus Cain in the future. We got to do the lore of the Horus Heresy. We have so much to cover. And let me know what you want in the next one. And stay weird, fam. If you made it to the end, click one of these two videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on King. Stay weird, fam.